Valorant's patch notes 9.08 is finally here, and here's what you should know about the upcoming update. At this current point in time of making this video, I couldn't find the size that the download was going to be, but I'm sure someone will put it down in the comments. If not, I will be sure to update the description along with maybe put a comment down after I do find out. There are going to be a few changes for the following agents such as Gekko, Yoru, Skye, Jett, along with some various map news and more. Starting out with the man himself, Gekko. Since his last buff in patch 7.12, they've noticed that we've mastered him pretty well. Noticing that there are really little to no downsides when using and even reclaiming his little buddies. Now they're implementing ways for enemies to be able to punish Gekko a little bit more for being too reckless when trying to reclaim his buddies. Most notably is the time in the world his globules will spend. They used to last for 20 seconds, but now they'll be down to 15 seconds. Also, the time has increased to reclaim them from only a mere second to 1.5 seconds. Dizzy's active time after being thrown and forming will be reduced from 1.5 seconds to 1 second. Dizzy's targeting algorithm, however, has been updated to be more reliable, and Dizzy's goop flash now also blinds the mini-map of affected players. Wingman is seeing an increase of his cone angle for his concuss from 45 degrees to a whopping 65 degrees. When Wingman turns into a globule after planting the spike, there are unique visuals now. They also wanted to tweak his ultimate thrash because how often he gets to plant with Wingman, his ult was getting utilized a bit more often than they'd like to see, so his ult point has increased from 7 to 8. So this wasn't entirely a nerf to our boy Gekko. Like being able to blind the mini-map after getting blind by Dizzy, sort of similar to Omen's Paranoia Flash. And even with Wingman having his concuss cone increased so dramatically. It is going to make Wingman a little more annoying to deal with, but we'll see how it goes. Moving on to our Nihon native, there were various effects that weren't being shown on Yoru's fake out clone, which made it too easy for certain agents with certain abilities to be able to differentiate which one is Yoru and which one is Yoru's fake. As a result, things like Gekko's Dizzy and Vice's Arc Rose will now display a blind effect on the fake out clone as if he was a real agent. Along with that, Vice will successfully call out her blind celebration when blinding the clone as if she blinded a real agent. Cypher's Neural Theft now will also show Yoru's fake out clone, along with Clove's Metal also showing the decay effect on the clone. Huge ups for Yoru here, really making it harder for the enemy to be able to tell which one is him and which one isn't. Jett and Skye are also receiving some slight updates, nothing major. Jett's Tailwind and Skye's Trailblazer will no longer stop at the window in Ascent. Instead, they will bust through and continue movement onto the other side. Also in this update, they're giving us a new map named Glitch for Valorant's Team Deathmatch mode. Obviously, this is going to be a 5v5 map that puts you in a duel-themed arena. This is going to be the 5th Team Deathmatch map, and it takes place in a quote-unquote glitched-out matchbox arena. Some news that our comp grinding warriors might like is that Pearl and Split are back in the competitive queue. Along with that, Icebox and Lotus are on their way out. Sunset is finally receiving its well-deserved changes, mainly to the map's B site to address defensibility, post-plant, and provide more ways to play on site. The B main pivot box was adding a ton of pressure post-plant, so they opted to simplify the cover here. You can still play B main during post-plant, but it should now be easier to manage for retakers. A particular Cypher trip has also been removed with these changes, and all I can say to that is hallelujah. This here is B main exterior, B site, the back of B site, and finally Boba. A small update to Abyss where the spike will now correctly spawn at B danger if it happens to fall off the map. For those of you that this matters to, the PC Premiere is getting some updates. I'm just going to read it word for word here. At the end of this stage, the top 16 teams in Invite will remain in Invite. All other Invite teams will be demoted at the start of the next stage. These rules are listed on the Standings tab. Demoted teams will seed into the zone they originally promoted from. Next stage, team owners can change their zone in the team settings drop-down anytime before the team plays a match. If your team cannot be placed into a zone at the start of the next stage, your team owner will be promoted to select a zone. Divisions other than Invite will not have demotion, and teams will still be promoted or be seeded into a division as normal at the start of the next stage. Some contender eligibility updates. If you have 5 contender eligible players on your team, you are guaranteed to place into contender division. Contender eligibility for 2024 expires at the end of stage E9A3. To be contender eligible in 2025, you and your team must perform a qualifying action in stage E9A3 or at any point in 2025. Qualifying actions include play a weekly or playoff match on a team in contender or invite division, reach Immortal 3 or higher peak rank in competitive, play in a playoff match in Elite 5. Contender eligibility for 2025 expires at the end of the last stage in 2025. And lastly, just a bug fix for Premier. They fixed an issue where you could see a competitor's crest after playing a practice match on a brand new team despite not having earned any points. But that does it for these patch notes. What do you think about them so far? There were quite a few changes to how you can detect Yoru's fake out clone. Gekko received some nerfs with his buddies, but at the same time his buddies also got buffed. The deserved removal of the unbreakable tripwire on B site on Sunset. I've even seen some news about changes in the near future. Changes to Phoenix, I wonder what they're gonna do there. The introduction of regenerating shields. I'm curious as to how that's going to look and play out. Please feel free to tell me what you think in the comments down below. And as always, leave a like, subscribe, as it is free for you to do and it helps me out a ton. And if you want to watch another one of my videos, it should be linked here somewhere. You can also feel free to click on my channel, and I'll catch you in the next one.